Okay, we're here with head coach Todd Shulenberger, getting set for the second round of the NCAA tournament. You take on Tennessee on Friday here in Ann Arbor. You just talk a little bit about advancing out of the first round for the fourth straight time and what that means to the program, and then this game on Friday.
It was a great first round game, well earned the win, and well earned for us to have a home game at least to start the tournament off. Montana was a good team. They gave some fits there early just on how they were defending, and anytime someone's going to defend like that and make it difficult is a good thing, and you can solve it then, which was also the bonus for us. So great start to the weekend last week. We're here now against a very good SEC opponent, and we're looking forward to our matchup on Friday.
Before we get into specifics about Friday in Tennessee, can you talk, what does it mean to the program, to you as coach, to the players, to know that just making the NCAA tournament is no longer the bar, making it out of the first round, going deep in the tournament is kind of the standard that you've all set for this program? Yeah,
it's a great standard. It's where we're at with this program. This group of young ladies, the super senior class has been a part of that whole run these last 6-7 years here. Again, it's a great standard to have. I always remind the group every day, winning's hard. Don't you forget that, because it doesn't matter who we play, when or where, winning is hard. We got to remind them that, because it's not easy to do what any team's doing. So I always say when you're winning, it's actually harder, because you got to keep up the consistent progress to move forward. And another fortunate opportunity to be in this situation to go into the second round, and we're looking forward to it.
So what type of game this Friday against Tennessee? As you said, SEC tournament champions, 19-2. High scoring team. What type of a game should people expect out of this?
I think it's going to be an open game. It's going to be wide open. I think it's going to be a game that both teams are going to have the ball. Both teams are going to have looks at goal. Tennessee's a great team, SEC champs, well coached across the board with all the guys there. They've done a great job, Brian Penske has. And, but I will say this, how good they are, it's nothing we haven't seen in the Pac-12. And I always say when we advance, it's not so much what we do in-house, it's the culture we have in this conference and the teams we play against day in and day out. So the Pac-12 sets you up for these moments. And again, we're excited to have a good game here.
Last time the Cougs and the Lady Vols met was in 2017 in the second round in Gainesville, advancing with a 2-2 draw, and then out of the PKs advancing that third round. Do you think that plays into anything in this game? Do you think having those seniors, the fifth years that were freshmen on that team, here, do you think that plays into this game? Do you think it helps at all, or is that so far in the past?
I think it's far in the past. I don't necessarily have to be because it was Tennessee. It's just that group of young ladies have been across the board here, has been in these tournament, in those games. So it's not the actual opponent that we took had that game with years ago. It's the actual time they've been in the tournament and where they've grown. Again, Tennessee is a different team now. We're a different team now. We were way younger then than we are now, and I'm willing to bet Tennessee is too. So again, two great teams and two great conferences going to get after it on Friday.
We talked with the players afterwards, Studer and Wilden, and they both spoke about this being the first time in the NCAA tournament and how exciting that was for them. What can you talk a little bit about what it means for those type of players experiencing this advancement into the postseason, into the second round, as opposed to, of course, like you said, the fifth years, this is what they expect now? Yeah,
I mean, I had to break that down a week ago. The older kids expect it. The younger kids don't know any better. The younger kids sometimes take it for granted. We'll get there at some point. And Wilden's in that spot, but she doesn't take anything for granted. So she's earned it because her sister was a part of that run we had for years here. And then Studer, the girl is nothing but hard work and dedication and commitment. And she's jumped right into this Coug program and really embraced herself, opened her arms up to this. And it's fun to see that. It's fun to see these freshmen get this chance. It's also fun to see a special young lady too, who came from the transfer market off with Matt at Oregon State, to have this opportunity. Both of those two, Matt included, and quite honestly, Kevin as well, because he hasn't been there in a while either. So it's fun to see that happen. But Studer and Wilden are definitely two of the many that are going to embrace and enjoy this moment.
And then how do you feel it's helped the team, seeing lately Studer has had a huge run these last few weeks of the season, starting with the goal at UCLA, the assists in Oregon. Wilden gets her first goal. Grayson got her goal she hadn't scored in a couple games, finally gets on the board in that Montana game. How important is it to see the offense spread out among so many different players and knowing that there's a ton of different weapons there?
It's great to see, but just not just the offense, but yet the defense and even the goalkeeping. The big players in big moments make big plays, and that happened in the 19 team. And it's happening right now. I'm not comparing the teams. I'm just making a point that you're seeing right now when the crunch was on the line, starting with the California double into the Oregons, into UW, into the first round. That the challenge of these older kids or anybody in that environment, quite honestly, is going to make big plays in big moments. That's what you have to do if you're going to have a chance in the NCAA tournament.
Well, not to compare the two teams, but both teams have scored 45 goals in their seasons. Of course, the 19 team had a couple more games under their belt when they did. What are some of the similarities between the two teams? And then, of course, what do you think are the biggest differences between those two?
Both had great locker rooms. Both had talented players in certain roles and positions. One team was older, the 19 team, than this team here, but you got more experience on this team because you had kids that done both now. So I think it's pretty nice to see kids have grown, kids that have left, and the culture continues to go forward. But again, keep going back to the winning part, and it's something we talk about all the time in our program here. And it's good to see this to carry on. I think last year with COVID hitting, we had a hiccup in a row. We missed 4 or 5 games because of COVID. So it's a little bit of a statement here to say that, we still got more here. This wasn't a one-hit Coug team. Regardless what happens these next couple of weeks, this team is for real. This program is doing a great job, and we're excited for these opportunities.
And then finally, what to win the game on Friday against Tennessee? What do you think the Cougs have to do to come out on top of that?
Well, obviously the team that scores is going to win, but I think it's going to be a defensive battle here between both teams. I mean, both teams defend, both teams press. Which goalkeeper is going to show up on both teams? I mean, I definitely think Nadia is really proving her ranks here, what she's doing. I mean, both goalkeepers, who's going to have the better game? And forward-wise, I mean, they got some talented kids up front, but you know what? So do we. And we got some talented kids in the back, and so do they. So it might come down to the midfield here, because the overlooked piece of this may be the midfield, because we know what they got up front. They know what we got. We know what they got in the back. We know what they know what we have. But what's the midfield going to do in this moment here? And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.